Hello there, what's going on everybody? Today we're going to be looking at a Superstar Destroyer build for 400 point lists for the Ravager title, specifically kind of focusing on that one. I think there are other titles that might be more attractive to certain builds, but I feel like the Ravager build might be a little more appealing to me because I love the Concentrate Fire command. And today I'm using Armada Warlords builder because they have all of the files available. I just sometimes like to use different builders from time to time. And so I will put a link to this in the description below. I also have a giveaway winner to announce at the end of the video, so make sure you stay tuned until the end. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start off, we're going to go ahead and add a ship. We can, they do things a little differently in this builder. You can do your objectives up here and you choose your commander up here, but we can go ahead and add a ship right now. And while I'm doing this, it can be a little tricky to scroll down, so there we go. You just got to grab the sidebar. And I'm going to be using the Assault prototype instead of the Command prototype. The Assault prototype is a little bit better. I have done some Command prototype builds in the past, but the Assault prototype has more red dice, especially in that front arc is even a little more deadlier. You got extra dice on the auxiliary arcs, you got extra dice on the sides, you just got extra offense all over the place. And also you have better anti-squadron dice, you just got a little bit of everything. And so really, really nice ship. I think this is definitely my preferred version of the Superstar Destroyer, at least in 400 point games. You still have the same shields, you still have the same hull, still have the same movement, same defense tokens. Your upgrades are a little different. You're not going to get that fleet support, so that is going to be something that you're going to have to forego. And I think there's ways to make that work. Now, I did say we're going to be doing the Ravager title, so we'll start off with the Ravager itself. And what that means is that your Concentrate Fire command is going to give you some new things. Your Concentrate Fire tokens can either reroll an attack die or add a die to your attack pool. So you can use them normally, or you can add an extra die. And of course, it has to be of a color already in your attack pool. And this has natural synergy with any huge ship because when you do a command, you're going to also get the token for any huge ship. So basically, long story short, you've got 5 red dice out the front arc. If you Concentrate Fire, normally you could make that 6 red dice. You're going to get a token for free, and you can use that to make that 7 red dice right out of the front arc. That's before anything else that's adding dice. So you've got a tremendous front arc that's going on here. So this is really, really nice. And considering we have so many red dice, for our commander, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Piet as a commander. He works really well for a Superstar Destroyer. That is just naturally going to work with this. And one of the things that's going to do is if we don't, for example, have a Concentrate Fire command, we can use a token to turn it into a dial, which also gets us the token as well, and it's just natural synergy there. But of course, to make this whole concept work, I need to have a way to add tokens, and so one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to add a Gozanti. And I'm going to bounce around a little bit on this build because there's different things that are going to be working with each other. I'm going to have a Gozanti that is going to have fleet support, and we're going to put CommsNet on there. That is going to pass us tokens. And that's how we're going to make sure we're basically going to be able to do 2 commands every turn. And if we don't need to use the token that comes with a command dial, we can save it. We can have some extra tokens standing by. There's a lot of possibilities here when you have some token passing and you've got Piet. You can really do a lot with a Superstar Destroyer this way. So one of the other things is I wanted to also try to fit 3 ships into this build. I am not going to add any squadrons, and I know that that's a risk, but I'm going to be kind of versatile here. I want to try a couple of different things. So I'm going to add in Architans that will be pretty self-sufficient, or I'm going to give it Turbolaser reroute circuits, and this is going to give me 2 things. For one, it's another activation. It's also another deployment, but more importantly, here's a ship that is a definite threat, especially with TRC. That can add to the damage that I'm going to be dishing out like crazy with this particular ship. And now that I've got those out of the way, we're going to go back up top because I think we're going to go with some things I think that are almost mandatory on a Superstar Destroyer. First off is we're going to put Gunnery Team. We can get lots of extra shots that way. We can really try to take advantage of that front arc with Gunnery Team and get lots of extra shots. I think that's just pretty much an auto include. Maybe not always. We'll see. And then for our officer, well, we got a lot of officers. I think with another one that feels like an auto include is we're going to have our damage control. Where is our damage control specialist? They are alphabetical, so it helps if we look at the D's. There's our damage control officer. And because we've got 2 of those contains, we just kind of have to have a damage control officer on board. I feel like these 2 are going to be stapled to just about every Superstar Destroyer, but we'll see if that changes. The meta might shift things up just a little bit. We might find ourselves in a meta where every fleet is designed to be able to outmaneuver the front arc of a Superstar Destroyer, and thus we are relying more on those side arcs, and maybe gunnery team ends up not being all it's cracked up to be. I doubt that'll happen, but maybe we never know. Now, for our Turbolaser slots, one of the things I really like is Spinal Armament here. We can add even more dice that way. However, I like the idea of quad battery turrets because I figure if people are going to be able to do that, if people are going to outmaneuver us, they're going to have to do it at a much faster speed, and this is going to give us not just 1 die in our front arc, but 1 die everywhere. Rear arc, auxiliary arcs, and side arcs. And that's really a very, very nice thing. Additionally, I think XI7s is too good not to take. Absolutely love it. We've already got our modification for quads, so we can't take another mod. And if you're looking for something else, I think this is a really, really good option. So XI7, a really fun option. We're going to get, and we can potentially even get an accuracy, so we could even stop the brace and a redirect very, very easily. So I love that. I definitely love that. All right, but we have some more officers that we definitely want to use. I mean, there's certain things you definitely don't want to skip, but considering the power of so many officers and how highly contested of a slot it is, we're definitely going to use that. Now, we are at 385 points already, so we have to be very careful about what we choose. Now, I think Callus is a really good option on a ship that happens to have red dice for its anti-squadron, because this is really going to help us get those unique squadrons before they get close to us. But I'm not going all in against squadrons. I know there are some builds that are going to want to do that and go very heavily counter squadron with counter and everything else that's going to really hurt squadrons. I'm not really gunning for that in this particular build. I just kind of want to be a little bit well-rounded. So if you're really fast, I've got quad battery turrets for you. If you're slow, you'll deal with the front arc and everything else that comes with that. But I feel like Callus is worth having in case I do face squadrons, and if not, I didn't waste that many points. But for our third officer, I'm going to be using Krennic. And Krennic here is really, really taking advantage of the front arc, but as well as the left and right arc as well. I mean, honestly, he works everywhere, but I think he works extremely well in that frontal arc. And I think he also works really well with Ravager. So what Krennic does is when you do a concentrate fire command, again, Ravager concentrate fire command, Krennic concentrate fire command. So they both naturally have that synergy. But when attacking at medium or long range, where you're going to be very strong because you're going to have lots of red dice, you may spend, if you spent a concentrate fire dial, you may also reroll any number of red dice in your attack pool. If you spent a token, you may also reroll up to 2 red dice in your attack pool. Spent. So like this is after you've already spent those things. So the thing is, it's not going to contradict with what Ravager's doing. So basically, out of my front arc right here, I can have a blue die for quad battery turrets. I can get to 5 red normal, 2 more for Ravager with the token. So we're looking at 5 red, 6, 7 red, and a blue. So 8 dice out of the frontal arc, and I can reroll everything except for the 1 blue, but there's no blanks on the blue, so anything is going to work there. Even if we get an accuracy, that's fine. Then we can reroll our other accuracies if we need to. And because we spent both a command dial and a token on what I presume to be most of our shots, we're also going to be able to reroll all our red dice. And additionally, we're going to be able to reroll 2 red dice. So you can really fish for those doubles. You can reroll everything, then take the 2 that you like the least, and then reroll those again. Just really, really great potential to get a lot of damage. And granted, you're only going to be able to do that on 1 shot that you spent your dial on. But that's maybe you do, with gunnery teams, you're going to have multiple options. So you just figure, if you didn't roll very, very well on that first shot, then maybe that's when you spend concentrate fire, add those extra dice, do the rerolls. or if you just happen to roll it perfectly the first time, then, save Krennic and Ravager with the Concentrate Fire command for the next shot. So that is a very, very cool synergy. I'm digging this. I can't wait to actually get this thing and try it out because it's just gonna be beautiful. To quote Krennic almost from Rogue One. Now we do have 4 points left over, so what I'll go ahead and do with that is I'll put the Gazanti up with the suppressor title, and that is going to, that's just going to be super. And that's going to, we can park this Gazanti out in front, maybe help slow down somebody who's trying to outflank us. Also spend their defense tokens, so it's a little bit easier to, to whittle them down. So I really like that. So this is 3 ships. We'll be able to pass with the Superstar Destroyer, so we'll effectively get 4 activations. I think this will be a fun little list to try. Again, we have no squadrons, but we do have Callus and the Superstar Destroyer's anti-squadron attack, which is very, very strong. Additionally, we also have the Gazanti's anti-squadron, which is respectable, and the Arquetan's anti-squadron, which is also respectable. So we do have, a presence for anti-squadron. We do have an answer for squadrons that do show up. So I feel like this is a well-rounded Superstar Destroyer list that may be a lot of fun to play. It may not be as consistent as everyone would like, considering you are relying on rerolls to really maximize those red dice, but I love this type of build. I hope you guys like it too. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. We got some objectives to go ahead and look at. And this is going to change soon, as a matter of fact, too. Once we get new objectives from our campaign, this is all going to change. But I'll go over some objectives for this one. For Assault, I think the first thing that really jumps out at me is Most Wanted, because I do have that cheap Gazanti. And the other thing about Most Wanted is it's going to give me extra dice when I'm attacking the objective ship. So I will be able to, definitely go for that big ship, and I'll be rolling 9 dice at them. So many rerolls, just lots of really fun stuff. I feel like Fire Lanes is going to be a good one here, because I'm going to be able to control what, where the battle takes place. That's really, when I'm struggling. When I'm really struggling, I think Fire Lanes is the way to go, because I am only going to have 3 ships to deploy. I'm not going to have any squadrons to drop down. I feel like that's just a really good one. And for here, I think the answer is definitely going to be Solar Corona, because superior positions, they're going to try and get behind me anyway. So I'll just go with Solar Corona. That one's pretty easy in this case. That also gets, stops their accuracies from coming after me, and while that may not be such a big deal on the first attack, subsequent attacks, once I've spent 1 brace and then I've got that green one, it's alright. It's alright, but you do have a pretty wide open rear arc if they're able to get around you, so I'd rather go with Solar Corona. Just for that deployment, that deployment advantage is really going to help out in that case. So yes, that's the list. We'll put a link to this in the description below. Let me know what you go ahead and think. And we have a winner to go ahead and announce. So here it is. We are going to, for the winner of a $25 Amazon gift card, that is going to be Jacob Gale. I want to thank you, Jacob, for your continued support, and just to say congratulations, and go ahead and send me an email. You can find that on my About page, or on go to Crabbok.com on the About page, and give me your contact information, and we will get you squared away. So I'll look forward to that. All right, guys, that's all I've got for you today. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and as always, have a great day.